The great lie we tell ourselves. We have all been there. It's January 1st, you've got a target you want to smash. Maybe it's scaling your business, dropping 20 pounds, or finally launching that side hustle. You're pumped, you're ready, but then the motivation fades. So what is our default reaction? We try to scare ourselves into action. We use the stick method. You look in the mirror and say, if you don't hit the gym, you're going to be out of shape forever. You look at your bank account and say, if you don't make those sales calls, you're going to go broke. We think fear is the ultimate fuel. We think if we just terrify ourselves enough, we'll finally get moving. But I'm here to tell you, that is a lie. And today, we're going to dive into the neuroscience of why that backfires and exactly how to rebuild your brain's operating system to generate unlimited, renewable energy for success. The survival trap, why fear fails. Let's look at the data. Science shows us that warnings and threats have a near zero ROI when it comes to changing behavior long term. Look at the graphic warnings on cigarette packs. Studies have proven they do not actually help people quit. In fact, for many smokers, that attempt to induce fear actually lowers the priority of quitting. Why? Because your brain is wired for one thing: survival. When you trigger fear, your amygdala, the lizard brain, hijacks the system. You either freeze or you flee. You shut down. You unconsciously try to eliminate the negative feeling, not the bad habit. We start rationalizing. You might say, well, my grandfather smoked until he was 90, so I probably have good genes. You create a mental shield to bounce the fear away so you can feel safe again. It is a boomerang effect. The threat makes you double down on your comfort zone. Here is a real-world example you'll recognize immediately. Think about the stock market. When the S&P 500 is rallying and your portfolio is up 20%, what do? You check your brokerage app 5 times a day. It feels good. But when the market crashes, when there's a correction and you're in the red, you stop logging in. You bury your head in the sand. We avoid negative data to protect our ego. The problem is, this means we only act when it's too late, when the crisis is already kicking down the front door. To truly level up, you have to stop using fear as your leverage. You need to stop fighting your brain and start engineering it. So ask yourself, are you running away from a nightmare or running toward a vision? Because your brain knows the difference. The biology of the grind, falling in love with friction. If fear is a broken engine, what is the high-octane fuel we need? Enter dopamine. Now, most people get this wrong. In the money mindset world, we think of dopamine as the reward, the champagne popping when you close the deal, the notification that the wire transfer hit your account. But neurobiology tells us something different. The true power of dopamine isn't at the finish line, it is on the track. One of the biggest mistakes high achievers make is focusing solely on the trophy, the 7-figure exit, the 6-pack abs. When you do the work only for the external reward, you kill your internal drive. There was a famous study at Stanford University. Researchers took kids who naturally loved to draw. They started giving them gold stars every time they drew a picture. Then they stopped giving the stars. The result? The kids stopped drawing. They took a passion and turned it into a transaction. When you trained your brain to only spike dopamine upon receiving the reward, the work itself becomes a tax, something painful you have to get through. Here is the golden nugget that will change your life. You must learn to spike dopamine from the friction itself. It sounds counterintuitive, right? But this is the secret weapon of people like David Goggins or elite Navy SEALs. When you are in the middle of a brutal workout, or it is midnight and you are debugging code for your new app, and every fiber of your being wants to quit, that is the moment. You have to consciously tell yourself, this pain, this is the good part. I am choosing this. I love the grind. It feels like you're lying to yourself at first, But biologically, if you reframe the friction as the path to mastery, your brain releases dopamine during the struggle. Don't celebrate with a cheat meal. Celebrate the fact that you didn't need one. Stop looking for the pat on the back. Become addicted to the heavy lifting. The power of not yet, the growth mindset. To make the struggle addictive, we have to fundamentally change how we view failure.
There was a high school in Chicago that did something revolutionary. If a student didn't pass a class, they didn't get an F. They got the grade, not yet. Think about the psychological shift there. An F says you are finished. It says you are static. Not yet says you are on a trajectory. It implies that success is inevitable if you just keep going. This is what Dr. Carol Dweck calls the growth mindset. In the business world, a fixed mindset is fatal. If you launch a product and it flops, the fixed mindset says, I am not a good entrepreneur. The growth mindset says, I haven't figured out the market fit yet. Science shows that when we step out of our comfort zone to learn something difficult, our neurons actually forge new, stronger connections. You literally become smarter through the struggle. Here's your actionable takeaway. Change how you praise yourself and your team. Stop praising talent. Stop saying, you are so smart, or I am a natural at sales. That creates a fragile ego that shatters when things get hard. Instead, praise the process, praise the strategy, praise the focus.
Tell yourself, I stuck with this problem longer than anyone else, and that is why I solved it. When you detach your identity from the result and attach it to the work ethic, you become anti-fragile. So let me ask you, when you hit a wall, do you see a stop sign or do you see a puzzle waiting to be solved? Mastering your energy, the economy of attention. Motivation is not just a feeling, it is a resource. It requires energy. The monk and entrepreneur Dopamine teaches that our awareness is the most valuable asset we possess. Think of your energy like capital. It is finite. You are awake for roughly 16 hours a day. Where are you investing that capital? Most of us are practicing one thing for 13 hours a day, 7 days a week: distraction. Every time your phone buzzes and you snap your head toward it like a servant answering a master, you are training your brain to be fragmented. You are practicing losing focus. And then you wonder why you can't sit down and write that business plan. We need to understand the difference between the mind and awareness. Imagine your mind is a giant mansion with many rooms.
There is a room for anger, a room for joy, a room for strategy, and a room for fear. Your awareness is a glowing orb of light that floats between these rooms. The problem is, most people let the world dictate where that orb goes. The news drags you into the fear room. An email drags you into the stress room. You are a passenger in your own house. To master motivation, you must master the orb. This is what we call deep work. It starts with the small things. When you are talking to your spouse or playing with your kids, be in that room completely. If your mind drifts to your emails, gently bring the orb back. If you can't focus on a conversation for 5 minutes, you will never have the mental stamina to build a multi-million-dollar empire. The 4C model, your toolkit for execution. Now that we have the mindset, let's talk strategy. How do we build an environment that forces us to win? Professor Scott Geller introduced the 4C model of self-motivation, and combined with behavioral economics, this is your blueprint for execution. To feel truly empowered, you need to answer yes to 3 critical questions. Can I do it? Do I have the skills and the time? Will it work?
Do I believe this process actually leads to the result? Is it worth it? Is the payoff big enough? If you answer yes to all 3, you feel competent. But that is just the baseline. To supercharge this, we apply 4 psychological levers. Lever 1, social incentives. We're social creatures. We care about the tribe. In the UK, the government added one single sentence to tax collection letters. 9 out of 10 people pay their taxes on time. Compliance shot up by 15%. Why? Because nobody wants to be the outlier. Use this. Surround yourself with people who are already winning. If your circle is broke, your money mindset will be broke. Lever 2, immediate rewards. Your brain discounts the future. It wants a payoff now. A hospital tried to get staff to wash their hands more often. Threats of disease didn't work, so they installed an electronic board that gave a positive ping and a smiley face instantly every time someone used the sanitizer. Compliance went from 10% to 90%. Stop waiting for the annual bonus. Gamify your life. Give yourself immediate feedback loops for every small win. Lever 3, progress monitoring.
Your brain processes positive forward motion better than negative gaps. Don't focus on how far you have to go. Focus on the gain. If you are paying off debt, don't obsess over the $10,000 you still owe. Obsess over the $2,000 you have already crushed. Highlight the trend line, not the gap. Lever 4, choice. Autonomy is the highest form of currency. When you feel forced, you resist. Change your language. Stop saying, I have to go to work. Start saying, I choose to go to work because it funds my vision. Stop saying, I have to eat healthy. Say, I choose to fuel my body. When you own the choice, you own the outcome. Here is a question for you. Are you designing your environment to push you forward, or are you relying on willpower alone? Conclusion: becoming a success seeker. We have reached the end of the guide, but this is just the start of your transformation. The biggest shift you need to make today is moving from being a failure avoider to a success seeker. Failure avoiders move through life fueled by anxiety, playing defense, just trying not to lose. Success seekers move through life fueled by inspiration, playing offense, playing to win. Remember the story of the young drummer who couldn't play a drum roll? He was overwhelmed. He froze. His teacher told him, when you're overwhelmed, break it down. He slowed it down to just 2 beats per hand. Suddenly, the impossible became mechanical. It became doable. That is the secret. You take the massive, scary vision and you break it down until the first step is so small you cannot fail. And finally, stop trying to be a lone wolf. Our culture glorifies independence, but the true key to sustained high performance is interdependence. You need a team. You need accountability. You need a community that holds you to a higher standard. So, here's your battle plan for today. Stop trying to scare yourself into action. Fall in love with the friction and the grind. Add the word yet to your vocabulary. Control your attention like it is your bank account. Build a community that refuses to let you settle for average. Your brain is the most powerful technology on the planet. Once you understand the software, you can program it for anything you want. Do not waste another second living in fear. Go out there and turn your effort into your greatest joy.
Thank